questions. Que sont honorable interleader of the opposition, Andrew Scheer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to welcome the Prime Minister to his first official question period. This is where democracy lives, and this is where we provide rigorous scrutiny on every word he says and every dollar he spends on behalf of Canadians. Now, let's talk about those words and dollars. During the election campaign, it was elbows up as he put retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. Then secretly, he dropped those tariffs to effectively zero. But he didn't stop there. He told Canadians that the government would collect $20 billion in revenue from those tariffs and use it to cost his platform. Now that those tariffs are going to bring in $0, two quick questions. Why wasn't he honest with Canadians during the election? And how is he going to make up the shortfall? Is he going to borrow it, print it, or tax it?
Oh my goodness.
Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Here he goes, first question.
Mr. Speaker, may I first thank my constituents from Nepean for giving me the honour and could you also indulge me to say how great it is to see you in the Speaker's chair, and I trust that you're operating under the period of grace that will not be accorded to me appropriately, as the Leader of the Opposition just said. Mr. Speaker, our tariffs have maximum impact on the United States, minimum impact on Canada, and we are dedicating all the revenues from those tariffs to supporting the workers and businesses affected by the unjustified American actions.
Hear, hear. He's got no idea what he just stepped into.
Well, he didn't take long to pick up old Liberal habits of not being able to answer questions. But since the election, Canadians have been inundated with grand rhetoric and pretty speeches from this Liberal Party, but they are still suffering under all those policies. Household debt up at record levels. Number of people who can't pay their mortgages increasing. Food bank use continuing to rise. Now TD Bank is forecasting a recession with hundreds of thousands of lost jobs. The PM said undoing the damage of the last 10 years would require great speed, but he's not going to table a budget for 6 months. If he's the man with the plan and the guy you hire in a crisis, why won't he table a budget before he goes on summer vacation?
You're right. Honourable Prime Minister.
Oh, I missed this.
Mr. Speaker, I understand the member of the opposition is very busy, didn't have a chance to study closely the 100-day plan of the former member from Ottawa, Carleton, which did not include a budget. Our plan includes legislating for one Canadian economy and nation-building projects immediately to grow this economy, and we expect the support from all in this House.
Brutal.
They must be really afraid to come clean with Canadians if they're going to punt it off into the fall. But, Mr. Speaker, with the throne speech yesterday, Liberals have effectively admitted that it was their policies that caused the suffering for Canadians. Their reckless borrowing and massive deficits caused the inflation. The carbon tax drove up prices and drove away investment. And their anti-development bills chased jobs out of Canada. Now, the Prime Minister is claiming that somehow the Liberals have changed. Well, he has a chance to prove it to Canadians. If he's serious, will he tell Canadians that pipelines are part of his values by repealing Bill C-69, the No More Pipelines bill?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Put some W's down in the chat for Scheer.
Canada's new government is acting immediately.
It's Mr. Speaker to you.
To grow this economy. I just made my maiden speech in this House. Canada's new government, Mr. Speaker, is acting immediately to grow this economy. One Canadian economy out of 13. Nation-building projects. One project office. Working with the provinces to cooperate. We expect the support from the members opposite.
Carney is so screwed. He's got no idea what he's doing.
Before taking office, the Prime Minister helped establish multi-billion-dollar investment funds that were placed in offshore tax havens. Now, he's shielding those investments from public scrutiny with a blind trust that hides but doesn't remove potential conflicts of interest. Now, Canadians are lined up at food banks in record numbers. They can't pay their rent, but they are paying their taxes, and they want to know if the Prime Minister paid taxes on his investments. So can the Prime Minister, who I welcome here today, confirmed that none of the investments that he placed in the blind trust were previously held in offshore tax havens?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, as you know, the Prime Minister has followed all the rules even before they were required. He'll continue complying with all the rules. Opposition members like to distract Canadians with these hypotheticals and conjured scenarios. The fact is we have a Prime Minister, a new government, hard at work at creating opportunity for Canadians, the strongest economy in the G7, and reducing taxes. The opposition don't like that so much, so they dig dirt on day one. Shame on them, Mr. Speaker. We're going to continue our work.
What the heck are you talking about,
The
dude?
Honourable Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Canadians don't want an explanation in how to bend over backwards to fit through ethical loopholes. They want
That's
to be
right.
reassured that after a decade of serial ethical law breaking, that they can have confidence that the Prime Minister is going above just the basic minimum standard. So the Prime Minister, again, who I welcome to the chamber, can he stand up and just assure Canadians that none of the funds that he had previously were held in offshore tax havens, and can he tell Canadians what those investments were in when he sat at his first cabinet meeting?
Well said.
Speaker, Canada has among the most stringent ethics guidelines in the world. The Prime Minister has complied with those ethics guidelines and surpassed the requirements contained in those ethics guidelines. What the Prime Minister is busy doing is not what this member is busy doing. What the Prime Minister is busy doing is creating opportunity for Canada, standing up in a trade war against the United States, reducing our taxes, building new homes, and creating the strongest economy in the G7. That's what we're up to.
We are certainly not the strongest economy, and we are also not in a trade war right now.
Canada is in an economic crisis without any plan because the Liberals shut this place down for half the year to avoid accountability. And now the Prime Minister says no budget before fall. With record high food bank usage, a rise in the number of those using those food banks that are fully employed, a rise in mortgage delinquencies. TD Bank now also predicts that over 100,000 Canadian jobs will be lost due to a looming recession. Given all of this information, how is it even possible the Liberals won't table a budget this spring?
Yeah. Well said, man. We need the attack dogs.
I welcome the question from my colleague, Mr. Speaker. We're being very clear that there will be a budget in early fall of this year, Mr. Speaker. But in the meantime, why we should celebrate, and we just seen now that the Conservative are going to support our motion, Mr. Speaker. Now this is a good thing, Mr. Speaker. Now Canadians will see that in this House of Commons, we need to do things for them. The first thing that we presented, that we promised and we're delivering, is a tax cut for the middle class, Mr. Speaker. 22 million Canadians will having a tax cut, Mr. Speaker. This is what we've been elected for. We're going to fight for Canadians. Every day, Mr. Speaker, is a good day to fight for Canadians.
The Honourable Member for Calgary East.
The Prime Minister sloganeered on a plan, yet refuses to tell anyone what that plan is. He's overseeing the longest period without a budget since the 1960s outside of COVID.
That's gross.
Uncertainty about spending and their debt that they're going to accumulate scares away investors, small businesses, and Canadians during a cost of living crisis. We know that this Prime Minister is going to spend more than Justin Trudeau. Why won't they be clear with Canadians and let them know how much more inflation and interest rates are going to go up because of all their spending?
Transparency is key. And Carney campaigned on that. But there's some W's down in the chat, huh, for the Conservatives.
The Minister of Industry.
Et ministre responsable de Développement économique Canada.
And Economic Development Canada for Quebec's regions.
Justified tariffs by the U.S. against Canadians are making Canadians' lives much more unaffordable. That's why we're cutting taxes. As the Minister of Finance just mentioned, this new government is cutting taxes on the middle class, making sure also that we're cutting the carbon tax and cutting the GST on first-time home buyers. We will create the strongest and fastest growing economy of the G7. This is the utmost priority of our government, and we will deliver. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Newmarket Aurora.
The Prime Minister claimed being the man with a plan. Very well. Where is it? After 14 years in finance,
Another
I
strong
have learned
female
that if you
Conservative?
don't know your numbers, you're out. We know the Prime Minister is committed to spending more than Justin Trudeau, but he won't even tell Canadians how much. TD reported that Canada is nearing a two-quarter recession with up to 100,000 job losses this fall. So I have one simple question. With the economic storm clouds moving in, how is it possible not to have a budget this spring?
Yeah, look at that.
The Honourable Minister of Finance and National Revenue.
Speaker, I have one simple answer. We have a plan, and it's a plan in action, Mr. Speaker. I welcome this member to the House of Commons. But the plan, Mr. Speaker, is simple. We're going to cut tax for 22 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, the leader of the Conservative just said outside the House that he's going to support our plan. So that, Mr. Speaker, is a step forward. Not only we're going to do that, we're going to remove GST for first-time home buyers for a house up to $1 million. And, Mr. Speaker, we're going to remove the consumer carbon price from law, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, why is gas going up then?
This is delivering for Canadian. This is building a better economy for all.